It was all last night. Americans waking up this morning in the wake of the first and possibly only presidential debate. Former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris meeting for the first time in person. This as we are just 55 days from Election Day. Edward Lawrence is live this morning from Philadelphia with all of the details. And Edward, the first topic that they hit was the economy. Good morning.
Good morning, and it sure was. It was a very fiery debate where former President Trump largely stayed on topic. Now, Vice President Kamala Harris tried to use personal attacks to goat the former president. Still, the debate on the economy, well, it was too short.
The top professors think my plan is a brilliant plan. It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country.
So Vice President says that she wants to build an opportunity economy, but again lacks specifics.
We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time.
So multiple times, President Trump tried to talk about his plans. The moderators moved on quickly. Now on immigration, the former President Trump warned about the increased migrant crime because of the open border policy.
What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States.
So the vice president never tried defending her role as root causes or going after root causes of illegal immigration. Instead, she turned the debate.
You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
So we'll have to see how this moves the needle going forward. Cheryl?
That is the big question. Edward Lawrence, thank you for that live report from Philadelphia. All right, Lee Carter, your first reactions to what you saw on that debate stage last night.
So it was really interesting. We had a group of voters in this studio last night talking about their reactions, and we had 8 undecided voters. Not one of them changed their mind based on what they saw last night. In fact, they didn't get the answers to what they were looking for. Now, all agreed that Kamala Harris won the night, but she didn't win their vote. And that's really what it's all about. When it comes down to what, they wanted to hear about, they wanted to know what was a Kamala Harris presidency going to be like, different from Joe Biden's. She didn't answer that question. They wanted to know what a Kamala Harris economy was going to be. She did not answer that question. And so I think what people were left with is very satisfied that Kamala Harris could answer questions artfully. They said that she set out a lot of bait. They thought said that she was, a lot of people called her even presidential, but they were looking for more tangible things that they could say, what's going to benefit me? And they didn't get answers to those questions. So at the end of the day, despite the fact she had a good night, I don't think that ultimately it was going to change the course of the election.
And one of the things, Adam, that investors, I'm sure, wanted to hear about and did not was about the expiration of the Trump tax cuts from 2017. That expiration date is in December of 2025. That did not come up. That is something that would impact all Americans and their wallets. So what did you hear or not hear from an investor perspective last night, Adam?
The second version of your question, what did I not hear? I didn't hear anything, speaking as an investor, that gave me confidence, quite frankly, in either one of them. But I think the real mess is Trump, because that's always been his go-to, right? He says, come to me if you want a way forward, if you want tax cuts, if you want lower regulation, if you want more drilling that will lower costs for everybody. All that substantive stuff. That's always been his strike zone. Instead, he was playing defense because she artfully put him on defense last night. So again, to answer your question, Cheryl, as an investor, I got absolutely nothing. I feel shortchanged. I think, Lee, as you point out, your focus group was shortchanged last night. It was light on substance. What instead it was, I think, was a battle between two warriors, a happy warrior and an angry warrior. And the happy warrior, Kamala Harris, smiling all the time, I think got the edge, which is why in the predicted odds she moved up by 3 percentage points overnight. May also be why stocks are down. If she gets in, there's going to be pressure to increase taxes. He didn't hammer her on that. He could have. And I think the market is starting to figure that out.
Things like climate change, clean energy, manufacturing jobs, immigration, but also the issue of fracking. And that is where she has done her major flip-flop. Now, she was asked by the moderators. Linda Davis did specifically say, you have changed your opinion on several issues. But did she actually give the answer that we needed to hear about why she changed her opinions? I don't think that she answered the question. Again, she pivoted away.
I mean, there's some questions about whether or not people could trust her, is what I heard. You know, she answered the question. She said there's going to be no, you know, I'm not going to ban fracking. I've done that, all those things that she said, but I'm not sure that satisfied people. And like many people said, I'm not sure that I can trust her on some of these issues. So I think she does need to give a why. What is it exactly that changed her mind so much? Because as Bernie Sanders had pointed out earlier this week, he said she seems to be saying what she needs to win this election. And that's, I think, what people are trying to gauge. Is she just trying to win this election, or who is she really? I don't think people are really sure.
Well, Liz Peek makes a good point in her op-ed this morning after she watched the debate, and her thought was, look, you know, that Harris said at one point that the Trump tax cuts only helped rich people. Not true. That could have been fact-checked, and it was not. Also saying that he had the worst unemployment since the Great Depression, but that was, you know, through the pandemic, that was not fact-checked. So there were certain things that maybe we needed to get fact-checked that were not. Having said that, I agree with both of you that what his advisors didn't want to see him do was take the bait, and he did.